Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today I'm talking about a message I think we all understand, I think we all know very clearly, and that is balance in all things. I'm just going to quickly show you. There is a fire roaring away. I am in the south of France. It is beautiful. It's currently very rainy, but what do you gotta do? You're gonna find balance in all things. So, I think, yeah, like I said before, everyone understands this message. Everybody understands that it's all about moderation and balance and, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I've talked about this enough, and you see it enough on social media. Your parents talk about it. Everyone and their dog kind of knows this whole idea of balance and not necessarily going full tilt one way or the other. But I think it's worth repeating. I need to constantly repeat it to myself and understand that, I can't be perfect 24/7. I can't be this or that. I can't work like crazy. I can't just goof off and go crazy like that. It takes a balance. It takes a clear deviation between what you're doing and having a perspective on it. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. However, I think we're kind of getting to a point in society, at least what I see in society when I talk to people, when I see people online, and it's almost like the idea of balance has become unpopular or disliked. I think, when you look at politics, when you look at many of the issues going on in the world, we have become really divided in our opinions. And so you get the point where, I'll give you some examples. You get to the point where you meet people who do not supplement, don't take care of their health at all. And they're like, nope, all of that is garbage. It's all snake oil, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm sure there is some snake oil. I'm sure there is some, bad advice out there, people looking to make a quick buck. However, taking care of your health is important, and it does take a balance. And on the other side of this whole thing, you have people who supplement like crazy, who won't eat gluten even though they're not celiac. They are obsessive and compulsive about what they consider their health to be. And in the same way, they're sacrificing a lot of enjoyment in life, living in the moment, appreciating what they have, and they become almost hypochondriac. They're obsessed over their health, and every little bump in the road, they're like, oh, I need some essential oil, I need some of this, I need this. And clearly, and I hope I'm not like way out to lunch here, but clearly it takes a balance. Clearly you have to enjoy your life and, a glass of red wine on the occasional evening or whatever, and also going to the gym or getting some sunlight or, going for a walk. It's really just a balance. But like I said, we're getting to this weird point in society where it seems like everyone wants to be one side or the other, like full tilt, crazy to the left, crazy to the right. And like, you're just gonna be wrong. I've talked about this before, but you will be wrong. If you embrace any philosophy or idea 100%, you're going to be missing key factors. You're going to be missing half of the story, half of the information. I think there are very few cases where you can look at something and say, oh man, they were totally wrong. They had absolutely no right reason, nothing going on properly. I think that's pretty rare. Normally, what happens is somebody has an idea or a concept or a value, and they sort of confirm it to be right in their head, and then that opens them up to exploring these ideas and these concepts to an extreme. And that's exactly what an extremist is. It's someone who takes an idea way too far, doesn't embrace balance, doesn't embrace moderation or the ideas of just, you're not going to be infallible. You're not going to be right 100% of the time. I'm sure there are a huge number of concepts and ideas that I have wrong, and I can admit that, and I can say, you know what, it does take a balance. And so even when I come into contact with ideas or beliefs that I don't necessarily agree with, I ask myself, maybe these ideas or the people who are advertising them or shouting them from the rooftops, maybe they have a point, maybe they have a reason, maybe they have a perspective that they have learned from and that works for them. And for me to just dismiss them and say, oh, they're totally wrong, that's not really looking at it in a balanced way. We also talk a lot about unbiased and being biased, being beholden to a perspective based on who you are, how old you are, the color of your skin, your sexual orientation, any of that stuff. And I think it's so easy to become biased. And so some people have come to the conclusion that everyone is biased and there's no possible ability to have an unbiased perspective, which I don't believe in. I think it is possible to look at stuff objectively, but a lot of people say, nope, that's not true. Everyone has a perspective and they are corrupted by this perspective, or they're influenced by this perspective. And, you know, fair enough. I'm sure in many cases that is the exact fact and that's how it works. But that doesn't mean that embracing balance isn't important, and that doesn't mean that you should just discount or ignore what the other side is saying. I think one of the reasons we see such a political divide in the world between young and old, left and right, religious and non-religious, is because people are unable to see the other perspective, and they're unable to embrace balance in their lives, which is a real issue. And obviously it's caused this contention. Obviously it's caused this big divide. And I worry about where this is going. And I think the solution, just like I think the solution to many things, comes down to the individual. I don't think it's not gonna be some, you know, very charismatic leader that we all elect into power, and, you know, they're not gonna fix our problems. The problems lie in the individual and how we view the other side of beliefs, the other side of the aisle, whatever aisle that might be. And I just think if you can live your life with a bit of balance and perspective, and just to say, actually, you know what? This side, I don't necessarily agree with their points, but I can see why they come to these points. I can understand this. That gives you a balanced view. And it makes a lot of people angry. I think, you know, there's this idea of getting attacked when you're in the center. If you're in the center of a belief, people on the one side and the other side are not going to like you. They're going to be upset. They're going to say, why aren't you fully on my side? And as a result, the middle people, the balanced people, tend to be ostracized, and we tend to get a lot of flack. Like, you know, people come for us all the time from both sides, and it's a real challenge. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have become so divided on so many issues, is that the middle people are pressured on either side of these ideas to either move one way or the other. You know, join my team, no, join my team. And that's really dangerous. And we're seeing that more and more. We're seeing more of the middle ground people, more of the common balanced perspective. They're being targeted. Like, it's a real issue in society. You see it every single day. And the only solution is to stand your ground and be balanced. You know, we often think of people who stand their ground as stubborn and unwilling to see the other side. Well, maybe you need to be stubborn and unwilling to completely discount one side or the other. And that's really hard. You know, they always talk about, it's easy to voice an opinion. It's much harder to sort of hold your tongue and listen. And unfortunately, social media, the general mass media, politics, our families, all of these things want us to voice an opinion and make sure that it's the right opinion. You know, it's not so much that they just want you to speak, it's that they want you to speak what they believe. They want you to confirm what they believe. And I think it stems from an insecurity. I think it stems from people feeling like they don't actually hold the beliefs they do, or they are worried that their beliefs are wrong. And the only way to confirm that their beliefs are right in their head is to bring you over to their side. And that's a real problem, especially when you factor in money and religion and belief and ideology. You know, I used to look at the diet culture and the way we eat, and I was always kind of confused at how offended people would get when you gave them facts about how they eat. People are really sensitive. They're emotionally connected to what they eat. And so if you tell them, oh my gosh, vegetable oils are horrible for you, they're highly processed, they're carcinogenic, they do all of these processes to vegetable oil that makes them really horrible for your body, and your body doesn't know what to do with them. If you tell someone that, who is absolutely dependent on vegetable oil, whose parents cooked with it, maybe it was the only available choice, it's the only economical choice, they're going to be very offended by that. They're going to take it extremely personal. They're not going to be able to give you a balanced view of it. And you haven't convinced them to see your argument. You have only pushed them further to one side or the other. You've in fact taken the balance from them. You have solidified their one-sided belief, and you have unbalanced them even more. Even though that wasn't your intention, that's what can happen. And so having that balanced view in anything in life is very difficult, because not only are you trying to stay in the center and see both sides, but you're also not trying to push anyone to the extreme. And because I think we all understand the idea of, if someone goes too far to one side, the whole scale tips over. And, we've seen through historical lenses that it never works out right. When somebody goes into an extremist point of view and they just start disliking the other side more than just a disagreement, they start hating, they start, dehumanizing, that is where you get some serious problems. And I think the people in the middle, the balanced people who seem to be disappearing in our world today, have a lot of responsibility and a big role to play in maybe bringing everyone together. And I know you might be watching this and thinking like, yeah, okay, Jax, like that's true, but my political belief or my religious belief or my whatever belief is right, everyone else is wrong. I'm not asking you to reevaluate your beliefs. I'm asking you to reevaluate the whole thing, the whole idea of this side versus the other side, and ask yourself, maybe ask yourself, why do people go on this opposite side against me? Why are these people positioning themselves in a oppositional force to me? And again, I'm not asking you to change your beliefs or anything like that, but having a bit of compassion and respect for the other side, and maybe trying to identify maybe a few points that the other side makes that you kind of agree with. I've always described myself as politically homeless because I dislike different things on both sides of the political spectrum. And you guys know me, I don't talk about politics. Like, it's not a thing that I'm interested in. But I can understand why both sides make the errors they do, the good decisions they do. I can understand it. And while I'm not going to jump into that fight and try and change anyone's mind or reverse your thinking, I want you to ask yourself, why do I think this way? Why is my perspective this way? And I think you'll always find that it comes from the language you speak, the people in your life, how your family influenced you. Your family might have pushed you closer to their beliefs, or they might have pushed you away. You might find Thanksgiving dinner really difficult because you have completely different views from your family. Or maybe you find it awesome because you get along with your family great, because you're lockstep with them. You believe the same things they do. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself what exactly has happened that has pushed the balance either into a better position or into a worse position. And I don't know, I just think it's a thoughtful thing to do, and it's a good idea to be self-reflective on your life, to constantly be evaluating why you believe what you do. I have never been someone who thinks that it's okay just to believe stuff just because, well, I believe this because my great-grandpa believed this. That is not a valid reason for belief. I think everyone should do the work, think thoughtfully, be respectful, and, do your best to have a balanced life. And just like that, it extends to your health, it extends to how you treat others. You don't have to be a total pushover in life, but you also don't have to be the woman yelling on the plane demanding the peanuts at 2 a.m. when nobody else is awake. Like, you don't have to be either. You don't have to get pushed over. You don't have to be the reason people are being pushed over. So that is my little shtick for today. I hope you're doing well. If you're, dealing with stuff, I hope you're able to communicate that to somebody and be there for someone else. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you're having an amazing day, week, month, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And as always, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow.